Hey guys, it's me again. Okay, are we ready for another day of this? Okay, this is your last section before the test. Okay, so I know it's been crazy, but I did take away your quiz, so that's kind of nice. All right, I was like, no, we're not going to do that. It's just too much. So just make sure you study. Make sure you've been doing those IXLs. Even though the IXLs are due Friday, please don't wait until after you take the test and start working on them. Yes, it's taken me a while to get through some of this grading, but it's okay because I'm spending today doing a lot of it. But anyway, so 7.8, we're going to go ahead and get started so that y'all can get started and hopefully not have homework. So today you're doing 7.8% change. Okay, percent change. I actually like this one. It's not difficult or anything. In my opinion, it's pretty straightforward. And I'm going to give you some examples. It works well in the real world when you're talking about business-wise and everything, making good decisions. So anyway, your sub, actually, if you are not doing this all by yourself, your sub could probably ad-lib. So I'm going to give y'all just the basics and let your sub do better explanations to save on time here. Okay, guys? Anyway, so take notes. Make sure you are taking notes when I'm doing this stuff. All right, so the formula for this. All right, for percent change. So to get the percent change, it's change over original, and it's times 100%. Now, let me tell you, that's an extra step. You guys can do this in your head, okay? So what I want you to focus on is this part right here. When you do that, then you're going to just change it to a percent. Okay, right here. Don't worry about the multiplying and da-da-da-da. Don't worry about that. This is the formula. But what you're going to do is you're going to calculate the change over original, then change to percent. You guys know how to do that. How many places do you move the decimal? We're going to talk about that. Okay. So, hold on just a second. All right. Sorry. School is blowing my phone up. All right, so step 1. You're going to subtract to find the amount of change. Now I'm going to give you the steps and then we're going to do a ton of examples which will bring it all home, okay? So you're going to subtract to find the amount of change. This is the very basics, okay? When you get into Algebra 1, it's going to be way more detailed. Step 2, you're going to divide the amount of change by the original amount. Okay, and again, if you're doing this by yourself, you can hit pause at any time to catch up on notes, or your substitute can pause it. But y'all need to stay up on this because of time. Step 3, convert your answer quotient to a percent. That's a whole, yeah, don't worry about that. Do change divided by your original and then just change it to a percent. That's all you need to do. And then, if needed, this is common sense, you're going to indicate whether it's an increase or decrease. Guys, if you go from $5 to $10, is that an increase or decrease? It's an increase. If you go from $30 to $2, $30 to $2. Did you increase or decrease? You decreased, okay? So that's common sense. Nothing hard about that. Actually, there's not a whole lot. The biggest issue you're going to have is knowing what's the change, knowing what's the original, because they may try to trick you on that, and then the dividing, and then remembering to change to percent. That's it. That really is just mathematical stuff. If you rush, because a lot of my students, this after like the first two examples, are like, oh, I got this, I got this. Then they start making silly mistakes. So wait until all the examples are done, and then if you have questions, you can ask your son. If it's at night, you can text me and ask me. Today, I've had students text me actually during the day, so that's pretty cool. I miss you guys. All right, so let's do our first example. Let's say we went from 75 to 100. And we want to find the percent change. What is the percent of change? Basically, like, first of all, did we increase or decrease here? We went from 75 to 100. Is that increase or decrease? We increased. That's important, believe it or not, okay? So what they're asking is, by how much percent did it increase? That's what this is. By how much percent? What's the percentage of the increase? Did it increase by 100%, 50%, 200%, 10%? And so that's important. And again, your sub can explain the importance of this. Okay, first thing you need to remember, what is the original here? Is the 75 the original amount, or is 100? Keep in mind, it went from 75 to 100. So what would be your original? That's right. 75 would be your original amount. That's your beginning amount. You know, that's where you started off. Okay? Now, what did I tell you the formula was? Change over original. Okay? Change over original. All right, so, you're going to hate me for this. I'm going to rewrite this over here. You always get mad when I change things up. Okay, change over original. When they say change, remember step 1 says subtract to find the amount of change. But I didn't say what you're subtracting. What you're subtracting is your original and your new. Okay? So you're subtracting your original minus your new amount. And then that's going to all be divided by your original. Okay? So you're just subtracting the two. There's no negative answers here. If this, you would say 75 minus 100, oh, that's going to give me a negative number. No, you don't have to worry about that with this. All you're doing is subtracting the two. So basically, what is 100 minus 75? I'm just writing that like that because I don't want y'all to get crazy on negative numbers and everything, because y'all got that down, and I don't want y'all to get confused. The change is really the difference here. That's what I should say. The difference between those two. And then, what's the original? So the formula says original. All the change is being divided by original. What's the original? 75. All right, so what is 100 minus 75? 25. So 25 divided by 75, if you had your calculators, you could calculate that real quick. You would get 0.33333 repeating. But change to percent. If you leave it like this, it's wrong. So how do we change it to a percent? I would call on some of you, and you're probably happy I'm at home because I'm not calling on each of you, and you're happy. I know you are, and you know who you are. Okay, so how would I change that to a percent? That's right, you just move the decimal. How many places, to, and which direction? There you go. 1, 2 places that way. So your answer is 33.3%. Now, and it's an increase, of course. Let me tell you something. If you want to just give me 33%, if you want to round it, I'm fine with that. Okay? I'm not picky. If your book does not say round to the nearest whole number, round to the nearest 10th place, then just round to the nearest whole number. Okay? Make it easy on yourself. And so I would do 33. Your book wants to do that, but nowhere to say you have to, so we're just going to round to the nearest whole number. Or whole percent. Okay? So if you need to rewind this, you can, but all you do is they want to know what the percent changes from this number to this number. So it's change over original. You're just going to subtract the 2, you get 25. And you divide it by the original amount, which is 75. Okay? All right, let's move on. You're going to see after a while, it's not too bad. All right, so examples. Page 305. So open up your books to page 305. All right. Trying to make videos and the school blowing up my phone. We're just going to ignore that. Okay, so let's start with number 2. All right, these are going to be very basic. Let's see, how many do I do? All right, yeah, we're going to start with basics. Number 2, the directions say calculate the new amount. Okay, calculate the new amount. Now remember, up here, in fact, I'll even write this down. This is the original amount. This, the 100, would be your new amount. Should have probably written that down. Okay, so 75 is your original. 100 is your new amount. Okay, so number 2, the directions say to find, calculate the new amount. They tell you there's a decrease. It says 37 by 10%. Okay, so what they have, this right here, they say is decrease. So are we going up or are we going down? Are we adding or are we subtracting when you decrease? Are we going up the amount or are we going down by the amount? That's right, we're going down. It's a decrease, right? Okay, so this is your original. This time they don't have your, they didn't give you your new amount. They didn't give that to you. They didn't give you the change. They didn't give you anything, did they? So that's why instead of giving you notes, we're going to do this together. This right here is your percent change. That's right. That's your percent change. Okay? Now, if you remember, here it's percent change equals change over original. Okay? They gave you this time the percent change. They also gave you the original. They didn't give us the change, because or the new, but they want us to find the new amount. All right, here's how you do it. This is different, so keep in mind. Just keep watching. So this is decrease. All right, so to find it, we're going to subtract the percent change from 100%. Why am I subtracting it from 100%? Why am I subtracting? Because we're decreasing. Right? When we're dealing with percent, we're dealing with 100, right? All right, so 100% minus 10% is 90%. Now, change to decimal. How do you do that? Move the decimal how many places in which direction? That's right. We're going to move it that many places, 2 places to the left, and we get 0.9. So now we're going to go back and multiply. 37 times 0.9 equals 33.3 if you had your calculators. This is your answer. Checking to make sure I'm right. That's your new amount. I know this is different than the other side. But instead of doing a whole bunch of notes, I'm doing a whole bunch of examples. So, number 2 says to find the new amount. That was the question in the directions. They gave you, it said decrease 37 by 10%. Okay? So, you're going to decrease, so you're subtracting. You take 10% from 100%, that gives you 90%. Change it to a decimal, and then you multiply it by the original. Okay? If you're sitting there like, what? Don't worry. We're about to do another one. Make sure you have that written down. In fact, I'm going to close this up so you can't look back. Number 4 says decrease 105 by 8%. All right, and again, we're looking for, they said in the directions, to find new amount. New amount. Okay, we're decreasing, so what does that tell you? We're subtracting. So what are we subtracting 8% from? When we're dealing with percent, 100%. So that's your first step. If we're decreasing, you're subtracting. Don't worry, we're about to do an increase too. So 100% minus 8%, whoops, wrong pen, is 92%. Okay, what do we do next? Oh, you can see that there. Change to decimal. So how many places do I move the imaginary decimal? 2 places to the left. So then I get 0.92. All right, now all we do is multiply that with the original. So I have 105 times 0.92 equals, if you have your calculator, yes, I'm letting y'all use your calculator, you get 96.6. That's your answer. That would be your new amount. Okay? All right. If you have questions you don't understand, I'm not there, so this is kind of weird teaching. Your sub could pause and he can probably do a better explanation right now since he's in the classroom, especially listening to some of your questions. If you're like, why did she do this? Well, why did she do that? I can't answer that right now. So I can't give you a thorough explanation, but your substitute I know can. All right, 6. Look at number 6. This one's an increase. They said increase 210 by 130%. All right, so 210 is your original. This, remember, is your percent change. This is your increase. Okay, so before we did decrease, the amount decreased, and we subtracted both times. So if we're increasing, what do you think we're going to do? That's right, we're going to add. So what are we going to add the percent change to? What number? I'll hide it. That's right, 100%. You're going to add to 100%. Because we're increasing, we're going to add. So 100% plus 130% is 230%. Okay, now what do we have to do? That's right. This time we have to change it to a decimal. Well, we have been every time. Okay, so what that line is. Oh, it's a pen. Okay. So you take your imaginary decimal, move it 2 places to the left. It doesn't go in front of the 2 because you only move it 2 places. So you get 2.3. All right. Now what do we do with that? It's all right. You multiply it with the original. So 210 times 2.3. And you can either work it on paper, or you can use calculators, I don't care. You get 483. If I was there, I might do things differently, but since I'm not, making it easy. So that is your new amount. Okay, there you go. That's how you do those problems there. All right, now let's look at 8. This is going to be a little different. The directions say find the percent change, round to the nearest percent. Remember me telling you, if they don't tell you just do it to the nearest whole number, this one's telling you to round to the nearest whole number, basically, to the nearest percent. All right, so 8 says find the percent change. So this time we're looking, this is kind of like that first example I did. And this really is what you're going to see more, like even on like PSAT, SAT, your Terra Nova, Iowa, the standardized tests and everything. You're going to see more of this right here than you are of the examples we just did. But I need you to learn that as well. All right, so number 8, they tell you, in fact, this is kind of easier than what you will see on the SAT, but don't worry, it's okay. They give you the original, and it is 45, and they tell you the change is 10. Okay, they tell you that they already gave it to you. That's kind of nice. And Algebra 1, and even this, you know, you got to kind of do a little more calculating. All right, they give you the original amount. They told you the change. How nice. What's the original formula that I gave you? Change over original. All right, well, let's see. The change is 10, so you put 10 on top. The original is 45. Put it on bottom. Now you divide. And you get 0.2222 repeating. Now, what do you have to do, though, before you're done? You're looking for a percent change. So you're actually looking for the percent. The other examples we did, you got to be careful with what they're asking for you. The other one said, what's the new amount? So they weren't looking for percent. This time they are. Find the percent change, the amount of percent that it changed. So we got to turn this to a percent. You do that by moving the decimal how many places? 2 places to the right. Y'all know this. Y'all can do it in your sleep. All right, and it's 22.2 repeating, but they send the directions to round to the nearest whole number. This would be your nearest whole number. You would look to the right. That 2 is less than 5, so that 2 stays the same. So your answer, oops, I forgot to put my percent. Your answer is 22%. So when we moved the decimal over, it became a percent. That's my fault. I forgot to write that there. I'm sure Taylor was sitting there correcting me as I was doing it. Right, Taylor? Okay. Gabby was thinking it, but she wasn't going to say anything. All right, number 10. All right, the original is 600. Now, again, if y'all have questions, your sub can pause the video if he's showing it to the whole class, and he can answer them. And the change is 90. Okay, so the formula, change over original, and don't forget to change it to a percent. So the change is 90, it goes on top, original goes on bottom. You divide, and you get 0.15. Don't forget to change to percent. In fact, I'm going to write that right here. Change to percent. Don't forget to do that. So how many places do we move the decimal? 2 places to the right. And your answer is just 15% because it's already a whole number. There you go. Okay, let's move on down to the next section. 14. Ooh, I got 2 more problems for you and I'm setting you free. All right, so 14, I think, right? Ooh, I should probably do another one. Yeah, I'll probably do another one. Okay, 3 more problems. I know you're moaning. Okay, 14. The directions say find the percent change, indicate whether it's an increase or decrease. I told y'all gonna be fine with that. So 14 says original amount is 20, and this time they gave you new amount. See, they're making it a little bit harder. This is what Algebra 1 does. So new amount is 21. Okay, so remember, okay, so your original amount is 20, your new amount is 21. We're looking for the percent change again. All right, we're looking for percent change just like we did right here, but they gave you the change. Notice they didn't give you the change this time. This is how it's supposed to look. All right, so our formula is change over original. Okay, so what's the change? If you go back to the beginning of the notes, you'll see you are subtracting, remember, your original and your new amount. Okay, you're just subtracting them. There's no order, so don't worry about negatives. Just always use the largest. But wait, before I go any further, guys, the original is 20, the new is 21. Did we increase or decrease? Because that's one of the questions. That's right, we increased. So let's go ahead and write that down before we get started. That's probably smart to do. So we went from 20 to 21, that's an increase. All right, so change is going to be 21 minus 20, because you subtract the 2 to find what the change is, the difference between the 2 amounts. The original is 20. All right, 21 minus 20 is 1, so 1 over 20. It's not a fraction or anything, you actually divide. You get 0.05. Now we have to change that to percent. So we move the decimal 2 places to the right, and you get 5% increase. So the percent change here is there was a 5% increase from going from 20 to 21. Okay? All right, let's do another. I'll take that back. I only have one more, right? Yeah. Okay, so I only have one more for you. Number 20. Actually, I'm going to do 2 more. I know, y'all moaning. Let's do 16, because I just did one of these, and I'd rather do a couple. So 36, and then the new amount is 27. Okay, so here we go. We're looking again for percent change. Okay, we're going to use these. First, the original is 36 and the new is 27. What is, let's see, hold on. I'm getting my calculator out because I haven't done this one before. So, did we increase or did we decrease here? Going from 36 to 27, that is a decrease. Okay, but don't worry about that subtracting from 100% because that's only when you're finding the new amount. What we're doing here is just finding percent change, which is what I prefer y'all doing anyway. All right, so the formula is change over original. Remember, we got to find the change. What's the difference between these? So we're going to subtract 36 minus 27 over the original. The original is 36. So 36 minus 27, what is that? 9 over 36. So then 9 divided by 36, and you make sure that, yeah, is 0.25. So now we got to change it to percent. We move the decimal over 2 places, and our answer is 25% decrease. Okay? 25% decrease. So does that help for 14 and 16 for that section? All right, remember, you just subtract the 2 to find that difference, that change. All right, and then you divide it by the original. All right, last one. Let's look at 20. 20 says, write the amount of change, then find the percent change. Indicate whether it's an increase or decrease, round to the nearest percent. Basically, you're doing the same thing as here. The end result is I want the percent change and is it increase or decrease. But they're giving you even less information. 20 says from 15 to 18. That's all they gave you. From 15 to 18. So let me ask you, I'll do one example. I know you can fly with this. That's all they gave you, right? What is the new amount? No. Scratch that. Oh, even back further. Did I increase or decrease? From 15 to 18, do I increase or decrease? Or did I increase or decrease? That's right, we increased. So that's good to get that out of the way. We going from 15 to 18, you're going up, right? So we increased. Now, what's the original amount? What did you start with? Started with 15. That's your original. What's the new amount? What did you end up with? 18. That's your new amount. All right, so let's get to working. Change over original. In fact, on your test, if I'm there, which I don't know if I'm going to be there, guys, but if I'm there, and if your sub is there, the one you have right now, if you go up to them and say, I don't remember, blah, 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 I don't mind a little hint. Oh, do you remember change over original? Okay, so, kind of leads you in that. You've got to remember how to do it, right? So sometimes all I have to do is say change over original and kids will remember. Okay, so change. We're looking for the difference, so we're going to subtract the two amounts over the original. The original's 15. All right, so if you subtract the 2, you get 3 over 15. So 3 is your change. Okay? 3 is your change. So if you divide the 2, you get 0.2. We have to change it to percent. Move it 2 places to the right. Guys, you better put that 0 in there. And you get 20% increase. There's your answer. That's it. Oops, I wrote on myself. That's all you have to do. All right? Any questions? Ask your substitute there. You are going to be doing page 305 to 306. Nah, just 305. I'd like you to do numbers 1 through 23 odd. 1 through 23 odd. These are due Wednesday. Your IXL is due Wednesday. No, Friday. What am I saying? And your test is Friday. This is the last section of this chapter. Yeehaw! So then we're going to be starting a review tomorrow. All right? Take care, guys. If you have any questions, let me know, okay? Talk to me. Talk to me. Not right now, but talk to me if you have any questions, okay? Take care, guys. Miss you.